Yeah, okay, here you go. Welcome to the show. It's 12th of April, 2013. It's 11:25, 23:25. Yes, I'm running a bit late tonight because the Bombers won the game tonight against Fremantle. They were down by 36 points at halftime, and they got back and they won by 5 points. So, that's our Aussie rules. I barrack for Essendon, but I'm trying to follow GWS this year because I don't think I want Sydney to win another flag. Although it is Sheedy's game, or Sheedy's team with GWS, which is the Giants, Greater Western Sydney, because they have a few games at Canberra, and I followed the Raiders a little bit in Canberra for the NRL. There's 3 games, 3 teams. Melbourne is my number 1. St George was number 2, but I've done more work in Canberra, so I'll put Canberra number 2 and St George number 3. So that's how my selections go for the year. Have you rung the police lately, or have you rung any of those emergency services? Have you rung the police? 000. Well, I actually had someone who had a injury, and the first thing I did was ring 911. And I thought to myself, you idiot, we're in Australia. Will you do 000? Now, why do they have 911? Because it's the ones that are closest buttons on your phone to press, I think. Although then I thought, well, why do we have 00, 000? Because if you remember the old dials of the phones, the 000 it used to be the longest one to ring. That's why the US had 911, just to signify that 911 was going to be emergency, and there's less numbers to press or less dialing to do. Now, emergency services we have. We don't have the Coast Guard, but we do have a. We have the air. We have all the forces in the world, and we actually create forces for the sake of forces. I mean, they want to create someone to prevent the boat people from coming into Australia, create their own border protection, when we already have police, ambulance, fire brigade. We do have a border protection, but it's run by our foreign affairs area. It's not. You can't go into areas where it's been looked after by another government agency. It's like we have I think that Australian Coast Guard. We should do that. Australian Coast Guard. Now, what I'm going to do? No, I won't. Yeah, I know. Indecision. I'm in the t-shirt mode. I haven't got the collared shirt. If I got a collared shirt in, it seems like I can do my show a lot better. But it's casual Friday. They say, well, it's actually Frisky Friday. So you say boobs. Yep. All I say it's Follow Friday for those Twitter fans. Now, how many people do you need to follow before you get the blue tick? Well, I haven't got a blue tick yet, so I haven't got enough following me. But getting back to the defences, why do we have an ambulance? To pick up sick people to take to the hospital. Why do we have a hospital? To operate on people who don't feel well, who have accidents. Now, in real terms, if we didn't have the big hospitals and we have all these practicing surgeries around the country that can facilitate the local suburbs and not have to worry about getting to a major hospital, do we think that the person may survive a bit better? So therefore, instead of going to a major hospital, you just go to a corner surgery, a corner doctor, A doctor who can get on the internet and say, well, I've got this person who's had this accident and I need to do this for him. Can we develop? Can you show me what I need to do to get this boy or girl or whoever to survive to get to the next place? It's real strange that we have all these areas that we put money into in real terms as to employ the nurses as a way for which our taxes pays for something that we get back in return. It's not as if we pay the politicians and get much return from the politicians, unless we get a pay rise. And every time we get a pay rise, we get a tax rise. It's just funny about that, how the taxes simulate to that. Well, my person today is George McCrae, and he's going to be singing "Rock You Baby." And I thought he was rather like William Shakespeare, but he's very different. You'll have to go onto YouTube and have a look. So here's George McCrae and "Rock You Baby." So sexy, you want to be with me. I could add a few more words to the song. Rock you, baby. Oh, man. Rock you, baby. Hey, yeah, that was good. That was George McCrae. Now, George McCrae was born October 1944. Is an American soul and disco singer, most famous for the 1974 hit "Rock You Baby." And you got that. You got that from me. I hope you pass that on to others to say, well, you're still around, George McCrae, and we still love your songs and love your singing. Now, McCrae was born in West Palm Beach, Florida. He formed his own singing group, the Jivin Jets, before joining the United States Navy in 1963. 4 years later, he reformed the group, and his wife Gwen joining the lineup but soon afterwards they decided to work as a duo. Recording for Henry Stone's Old Stones record label, Gwen then won a solo contract with George acting as her manager, as well as doing some singing on sessions in clubs. He was about to return to college to study law enforcement when Richard Finch and Harry Wayne Casey of Casey and the Sunshine Band invited him to sing the lyrics for a song that they had recorded for the band, but could not reach the high notes that was required for the song. In fact, the original intention was that Gwen, his wife, should record it, but she was late for the session and George recorded alone. It suited his high-pitched voice to the extent that the song Rock You Baby became one of the first hits of the disco era in 1974, selling an estimated 11 million copies worldwide, topping the charts in the US, UK, and 80 other countries. Well, good on you, George. Now, credits. George McCrae, born October 19, 1944, West Palm Beach, Florida, USA. Genres, soul, disco. Occupation, singer. Instruments, vocals. Years active, 1969 to present, so he's still around. Alston, labels, Alston, TK, RCA, J-Boy, President, and Majestic. Gwen McCrae, associated, Gwen McCrae, Axe, KC, and Sunshine Band, and he's got a website, georgemccrae.com. Now, I'm an Aussie. I thought to myself, what would be a good thing to let people know? Well, we have character names, nicknames, that are known as Aussies. Now, I thought I would give you a few of them, just to show you know what we're talking about. Bluey, generally applied to someone with red hair, or alternatively, to someone who keeps getting involved in fights or blues. If you've been in a blue lately, have you gone red after you've been in a blue because you just realised the guy you hit wasn't the guy that hit you? Lofty, the name given to someone who's either very tall or such, being the Australian sense of humour, very short. So if you're lofty, you're either looking up at him or you're looking down at him. If you look up at him and look down to him, it's like the yo-yo. Maybe they should call him a yo-yo instead. Have a chat. Havachat, all in one word. A classic Australian nickname which was taken from a well-known racehorse and is applied to people who talk a lot, like me. Yes, I'm casual talk. I'll have a chat. Gunner. We have a lot of gunners in the Navy. You know what a gunner does? He's always going to do it. He never gets there to do it, but he's going to do it. He gets to start a job, he doesn't quite finish it. So he's gunning to finish it. The nickname given to someone who is always promising that he's going to do this or he's going to do that, but who never quite gets around to doing it. It's actually written down. The judge. Used in a variety of cases. It's written down and used in a variety of cases. Well, isn't that what judges do? They actually judge over cases in courts. This one is applied to a person who is always being called to the bar, or ponders for the long time before announcing any decision. Down on the walls, it's the name given to someone with a tendency for sitting down on the job, the judge. He's the judge and jury. He's the one who judges how things are done, but doesn't actually do the work. He sits there and realises, well, maybe Lofty should be picking up the things that on the top shelf, and Lofty should also be one picking things off the lower shelf because he's tall and short. Martin Place, a nickname generally only applied to Sydney-siders who, like that area of the city, are generally full by lunchtime. Martin Place. Well, Martin Place is a place where as a food court, and there's places where you can eat. So you go there for the lunchtime swill. So you always come back full. Silent Hero, also known as the Silent Night. Isn't there a song called Silent Night? Silent night, holy night. Go. Yeah, see? A popular nickname for anyone who is known to be reluctant to shout. A drink. In other words, you buy a drink around for your mates, with your mates, then the next guy is supposed to do the whip. But a lot of times when you get around about the seventh guy, because we've had 7 beers, he doesn't get to do a shout because everyone's getting ready to go home. So he's the silent one. He gets all the drinks for free, but doesn't pay for any others. Harpic. Harpic is like the flush, the Harpic flush. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that. I'll read it. A classic one applied to anyone who's clean around the bend. Who's clean around the bend. Anyone who's clean around the bend. Well, I can't exasperate that any further. We know what the Harpic flush is that on the toilets, because it cleans the end. It's supposed to clean the S-bend. Fruit fly, nickname given to anyone who's a bloody great pest. Now, what they're saying is that there's some guys in a group, and there will be always one that will pest the rest of you. You kind of think, well, let's walk away and we'll leave him be. But it always seems like that he attaches himself to the group and moves with you. And it's not as if they can make a big enough fly swap to squat him out of the group. But, that's one of those things. Mirrors, a nickname particularly among union officials or others in authority, who invariably reply when asked to do something, I'll look into it. In other words, is looking into the mirror, thinking, well, if no one else does it, then I'll have to do it. Is that what we do? Is that why we get paid? To do the job? Isn't it funny? That gets back to jobs. I know we get teachers in schools and high schools who have particular curriculums to teach students how to do things future in life. They have sex education, they have English, they have maths. I know there's some parts of the maths we don't use a lot, but sex education. I haven't seen a course that says, well, this is how to become a porn star. Because that's the attitude of the person who wants to be the porn star. There's porn stars out there who just want to be a porn star because they know people are going to watch them. They just like to spread their legs and do what they want to do. But I don't see it as a feature event in any of the schools to teach them. It's a paid job. They don't start until that. Most things is you can't be photographed or movie taken naked or doing the sex acts until you're over 18, as you do with driving, as you do with lots of things that they teach you in high schools and tech schools and whatever schools you go into, on how to present yourself for the next job. How do you present yourself as a porn star? It's not as if, they have work experience at schools, work experience, where the kids go out and learn how to do the trade. They learn, have an idea of what to expect from what they've selected. Now, what if someone says, well, how do I get my experience as being a porn star? I don't know. Go to the local video store. Go on the internet. That's how everything else is taught. Why do they have teachers now when everything's on the internet? because that's where our taxes go. We expect our taxes to be spent on things that are wise. And it's supposed to be education, it's supposed to be a wise thing. So that's my day, 12th of April, 2012, 2013. 2013. Yeah, look, I had a shave. I did a shave. Yeah, I'm getting used to this camera business where you're looking at how you should be looking at me, where the writing on my shirt is readable. See? Fighting cobras. So, catch us again tomorrow. Love is all. Love is all a bits. Tomorrow we're having. My eyes are getting worse because I got bitten by that dog yesterday. I reckon it might be getting into me. Debbie Byrne, and he's a rebel, and we'll have that tomorrow. All right, love is all. Catch you then. Bye.